Okay, so welcome back. So since you guys know what is a data set and what is the variable and what is the row, what is the instance and what is the record for our data set. Okay, so we have to check the first 5 index of our data frame. So we use head function. So head function is the first 5 rows of the data set. So you may use this one, df dot. So please use the data frame df tail. Please tell me the last 5 content for the df. So it will show the last 5 instance for this data set. So you know the function, what is head mean, what is tail mean. Okay, the first beginning and the last one, the last 5. Okay, so you have to display. Please show me the column name for the data frame. So you know the keyword columns. Please show me the column name for df. So the answer is this 8 column name for each one. And please tell me the shape, the dimension for this data set, like I said before. Okay? Okay, so you know the content for this data set. You have to know the descriptive statistic we call 叙述性统计. So basically you know the range for each numerical type. You know the minima, the maxima for your data. So the information we have talked about this function before. So for the descriptive statistic, so we use describe. Please tell me the describe. Please describe the descriptive statistic for data frame. So you know the means for describe. So for the describe, it only shows the numerical type data set. Only for the numerical, 它只显示数值型. Okay, so for the quantity, the unit price, even the customer ID, we use the numerical data type, 数值型的. So it can calculate the mean, the average for the quantity. 数量的平均 is almost 10. So each order, the quantity for the items is 10. So basically, this is online retail. 零售业 is a retail. So maybe the order is average is 10. The unit price is almost 5 Europe. Okay, 欧元. Okay. The standard deviation, the minima for the quantities, and the maxima for the quantities. But maybe you have some questions about what is the quantity is minima, is minus 80,000. Okay, 8万多. Why the quantity is minus? You can specify with a column name to describe the basic information for each columns, because quantity is the column name, unit price, customer ID. So you can use list to specify a single column. Okay, so this information, this function we to calculate the statistical for quantities. So you gain the same results as the first column. Okay, so my question number 2 is, did you notify anything unusual? So please answer the questions. Because the minimi with the minus quantities. What does the minus mean? So please answer your questions. Okay, so basically you can to show the content for each column like this way. Please show me the data frame, the column name for quantities. You also can use this one to show which one? You can show the customer ID. So you just can replace the quantity with customer ID column name. So this will show you the customer ID for each row. Right? Okay? So you can do the same thing to display the unit price instead the customer ID. So easy. Okay, so later, so you may find you have to find out some required data for your analytics. So for this section, I would like to tell you how to filter the required data from each column. Since we know the minimi for the quantity is minus, so there is impossible the quantity should be minus. So we have to filter, so we have to select which entity with the minus quantities. Like the before, if we can show all the content for the quantity, right? So the first one is 6, 6A, 6, 6, and all the way to the end, 4, 4, 3. So how many entity for quantity? This one, right? So I use this function to filter the quantity less than 0. So I use this criteria to make a comparison with 0. If the quantity is less or smaller or less than 0, it should be true. So you can run this function. So you get the 5 rows for false, and rest of the last 5 is the false also, because you can see the numbers here, they are positive, right? 正值, positive numericals, so they are not less than 0. So the computer answer false. No, 6 is not less than 0. 8 is not less than 0. For the last one, 3 is not less than 0, right? Okay, so for Python, you have used some functions to select a group of rows or columns. So you will use there are 2 ways to select the data you want. So we can use df, the data set name, dot loc, so you can mean location. Please find me the location for quantity is less than 0, so you know the meaning for this instruction. For this one, it's the same. Please show me the true statements with quantity less than 0. Okay, so let me show you the first method 1. So I use df, so use the dataset df, and find the location where the quantity columns value is less than 0. That's my criteria. That's my condition. So when you run this function, this instruction, it will tells you, it will filter the row, the observation, which the quantity is less than 0. So you may find with the result here, the quantity, so you can see all the quantity here is less than 0, what, right? Minus 1, minus 12, minus 24, and all the way minus 5, minus 1, minus 5, minus 11. So how many entities are minus? So you can see here, there are 10,624 rows which are with quantity less or equal 0, less than or equal than 0, 小于0. Okay, so you can use the method to use df and show me the true statement which is less than 0. It will show you the same result, right? So you can compare these two methods with the same result to show you the rows which quantity is less than 0, right? Okay, so you also can use a different filter condition to filter the record you want to analyze. Okay, so we will find out the quantity is bigger than 0, which is the ordinary orders. So let me give you a hint. So for the quantity is less than 0, it means this order is cancelled. 这个订单被取消掉. So it notifies the quantity is minus. Okay, so the customer cancel this order. Okay, so in the previous process, we select the filter condition with quantity less than 0, right? But for this condition, I would like to choose the quantity is bigger than 0, which is the ordinary order, without any cancel. Okay, so you run here, so you may find all the quantity is bigger than 0, right? Okay, so since you guys is the Python which I am teaching is, I hope you can communicate with the computer to do something for you. So like you learn the function in Microsoft Excel is doing the same thing. But if you know the Python language, it's easy for you guys to communicate with computer to do the analyze process for you. Okay, so here we check the shape for the data frame again. So basically, how many for the original data is this one. So how about the quantity? This one, right? Original. And what is the data bigger than 0? So how many? This one. For 536 3100. So you can use the original site to minus the order is bigger than 0. So you get here. So you find there are 10,624 orders with the cancel process. Okay, so for the question number 3, please try your filter criteria. So you may use the equal function to find the quantity. So you maybe find the quantity with 10, or maybe with 12, or maybe with 6. So what is the keyword? What is the instruction for you to do it? So you may use the first one or the second one. So let me demonstrate the first one for you guys. So you can use this one here. I would like to find the quantity is equal, double equal. So you have to keep in mind we use double equal to compare with the 10 quantities. Okay, so you may find all the quantity here are 10. Okay, also you can find the customer ID. If you want to find the customer ID equal to this one, 14688. If I want to find the customer ID for 14688. So here it shows all the transaction for the customer ID with the same customer ID. So for this customer, he or she bought more than 300 items for all the periods for the 1 year, right? So you can use the same process, same command to filter your criteria. What is not? This is called not equal. If I want to not, let me show you the not functions. Please show me the customer ID are not this one. So the rest of the customer ID are not this one. Okay? So you know how to filter the required data from original data set. You use the equal or less than or bigger than or not equal. Okay, try answer my question 3 with your own source code.